Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jasmine. If you're new here, I make lifestyle, wellness, and motherhood content. And today we have a very exciting video. I'm going to be comparing the Oura Ring to the Ultrahuman Ring. To be fully transparent, Ultrahuman did send me their Ultrahuman AIR ring to try out, test out, and give you my honest review. I am not getting paid for the video. The only compensation I have received for this is a gifted Ultrahuman ring. I was planning on making just an Ultrahuman ring video, but since I have the Oura ring, it is so hard to not compare them in my mind. So I thought, let's just go ahead and make a comparison video. Feel like a big factor when you're considering what ring to get, it's going to be on what you're wanting it for. So I personally would want a health tracking ring for my temperature tracking, for my cycle tracking, so I can have a natural form of birth control. And that is originally why I got the Oura ring. The Oura ring was actually gifted to me by my in-laws for my birthday last year. I have been using it ever since, with natural cycles for FDA cleared birth control. For me, this is the main factor that I wanted one. All the other things that the rings track, like sleep and fitness and your blood pressure and all of those, are just like added bonuses, but I personally would not care less if they didn't give me that information, as long as they gave me my cycle tracking. But I know that's not the same for everyone. I know some people want it for sleep tracking and etc. So I just wanted to put that in the beginning of the video because I think it's important to know what someone's wanting out of a product when they're giving a review. It definitely is going to influence like your thoughts on it, you know? Since cycle tracking is my main concern, Ultrahuman actually just had a new software update where they track your cycles. I've been wearing my Ultrahuman ring now for a little over a month. My cycle tracking isn't fully up to date on the app. It needs 3 full months to really give you accurate data on your cycle. On the Ultrahuman app, you can see what phase you're in of your cycle, whether you're in your luteal, follicular phase, or I think it's your menstrual phase. As far as using it as a FDA cleared birth control, you cannot use the app as that right now. If you're really good and educated in cycle tracking, I think that you could take the information it gives you to kind of estimate what days you're most fertile, and if you're using it as birth control, maybe avoid those days like the Natural Cycles app would tell you to, or vice versa. If you're using it to try to conceive, then you know what window you're the most fertile in. And it does that by tracking your temperature, which the Oura ring and the Ultrahuman ring both do. I have been a huge fan of natural cycles even before the Oura ring was able to sync up with them, and I think I actually used them before that integration happened with Oura ring. And then after the Oura ring, they also integrated the Apple Watch, so I can definitely foresee in the future possibly like Ultrahuman working with natural cycles. We can just hope that that would be the case, because one of the main differences with the Oura ring and the Ultrahuman ring, which I think is going to be a huge factor for many, is that the Oura ring has a subscription fee. I think it's $5.99 a month, and the Ultrahuman has no subscription fee. You just buy the ring and you have access to the app. No monthly subscription fee, which is so huge. I know everyone's kind of tapped out with subscription fees. That is a huge bonus, especially if you're not necessarily wanting Ultrahuman ring for cycle tracking. You're mostly wanting it for your sleep or other health data. Then that is like an obvious win. I would personally go with the Ultrahuman. Since we're here and we're talking about it, I will just say quickly with the Oura ring subscription and the natural cycle subscription, since my main concern is cycle tracking and natural family planning, so I just see it as like if you got a hormonal birth control, you'd probably pay like a monthly fee for that. So I just see it as like a monthly fee for that, because that is my main concern. If I wanted it for like sleep or something, I think I would be a little bit more annoyed with the subscription fee. So those are the two main differences. So let's get into some of these categories that I have written down here. My first impressions on both of the rings. Truthfully, when I unboxed both of them, I was just as excited. They're just as beautiful. They both come in equally fun packaging. They both come with their own charging dock and cable. The setup is very easy. Side by side for the rings, I got gold in both. Oh, that is one major thing I will mention as well, is that the Oura ring, to get the gold color, it is almost like $200 more than the regular like silver color. And another amazing thing about Ultrahuman is that you can pick any color that you want and it's the same price. So you don't have to pay extra for the gold ring. So I did get gold for both. And for my first impression when I unboxed the Ultrahuman ring is that it is much lighter than the Oura ring. And I mean, they're both not like super heavy, and they don't feel heavy on my hands at all. They both are very comfortable on my hands, but I will say the Ultrahuman seems just like noticeably lighter than the Oura ring. It is very comfortable to wear all day long. It doesn't bother me at night or during my day-to-day activities. The only time I find it uncomfortable is when I'm lifting weights, and I feel like it gets in my way a lot. And I also find that it gets in my way sometimes like for other day-to-day activities, but I'm not sure if I'm finding that because it's on my dominant hand, and I maybe don't notice it as much on the Oura ring because the Oura ring sits on my non-dominant hand. Regular day-to-day, like right now talking, like they both feel equally comfortable. The Ultrahuman ring is much slimmer, or like, yeah, slimmer than the Oura ring. I do have the Oura ring 3. I'm not sure how it would compare to the Oura ring 4 that just came out, but I mean, they're very similar. The sensors on the Ultrahuman are here at the bottom, and then this is how the sensors look for the Oura ring. One of the main differences that I noticed with these is that I got the, I think it's called the Heritage on the Oura ring, where it's like a flat top, and that's so when you're wearing it, you can feel if it's positioned correctly on your finger for it to be tracking the data. That's one style of the Oura ring. The other style of the Oura ring is just like fully circular like the Ultrahuman, but it has like a little thing you can feel at the bottom of it so you know if it's in the right spot or not. The Ultrahuman does not have a feature like that, but what I do is I just look down to see if, let me see, I just look down to see if I can see the little sensor, and if it's at the bottom of my finger, that's where it's supposed to be. Or I'll just slide it off really quick and make sure the sensor is there. But with both of the rings, I have to double check somehow that the ring is in the right position, and they both move just as equally. You have to readjust them. It's just like the nature of a ring. I have an Apple Watch and I don't wear it as much anymore. I do think that this is a lot more like friendly for outfits and whatnot than, I remember like taking photos and like my Apple Watch is in it. I'm like just like, oh my gosh, like why didn't I take my Apple Watch off? I don't feel that way with these because I feel like they kind of blend in. One thing I will say though with the durability of the ring is that my Ultrahuman ring did get pretty scratched. Let me see if I can show you guys. If you can see kind of like those gray marks right there, excuse my nails. If you can see those gray marks, those are pretty significant scratches. I'm not sure what caused it, so that's a pretty significant scratch. I don't expect this to stay like looking perfect the whole time. You know, it's a ring. You can see the little scratches on it. That's totally normal and acceptable in my book. I am just a little disappointed that it got so scratched here at the bottom. Thankfully, it's at the bottom towards the sensors and not at the top, so it doesn't really like bother me. But if it had scratched at the top, I definitely would be a little bit more upset about it. Now, my Oura ring I've had for almost a year, and it definitely was like more bright gold like the Ultrahuman was before. It has its fair share of scratching as well, and you can see the edges are kind of like coming off. You can maybe see the silver underneath, but no major scratches. And I have also lifted weights with this and no major scratching from the weights. I will say, since I saw this scratch here, I take off both of my rings when I'm lifting weights now because I don't want to risk scratching either of them. I believe that Ultrahuman does recommend wearing gloves when you're lifting weights, just because of the nature of the product. Like, it's not like a real metal ring. It's gonna get scratched, you know, so either take them off when you're lifting weights or wear gloves to protect them. They also make like little silicone protectors if you're interested in doing that, but I would not really like to take it on and off every time I'm working out, so I think I'm just gonna either continue to take them off when I'm lifting or take gloves. Let's get into the app and usability of those. One thing I'll note right away for the Ultrahuman app is that for some reason it takes really long to load when I first initially open it, so I close it out and then I open it again and then it loads really fast while it's like syncing all the new data. I'm not sure why that happens, but it doesn't really bother me. I think maybe I just got used to it. Here on the Ultrahuman app at the top you can see what phase I'm in for my cycle, which I really like because it's like just shows it to you like first thing, ovulation phase, and then cycle day, what cycle day I'm on. And then if you click it, it actually gives you a little snippet of like the phase and what to expect. And I have found that really helpful because I feel like I'm learning a little bit more about my cycle, and I just really like those couple sentences that they write up there. And it's kind of different every day, and it tells you like what to expect, because if you're a woman, you know, like our moods and everything change like with our cycle. So it's just a nice feature I really like. And you can see up here it says in calibration because it needs the 3 months to fully sync up with my cycle, which is understandable. It's the same thing with the Oura Ring. There's different power plugs here, so if you're interested in something else, I opted in for the cycle and ovulation, but they have vitamin D, screen time, circadian alignment, caffeine window, pregnancy insights. Like they have other things too that you can utilize. I don't really utilize the other ones because I'm mostly into the cycle tracking like I was saying, but I am interested here when it says like pregnancy insights, and then the new parent insight seems really good because I remember when I was postpartum, you know, you're up so many nights, and my sleep here, I will say that they both seem to track my sleep exactly like the same amount of time. Another cool thing is it tells you your sleep debt. So if you need more sleep or less sleep because you didn't get enough sleep or got too much or whatever, it tells you like what time you can go to bed to make up for your sleep debt. It shows you your caffeine window. So if you're familiar with my channel, at the current time, I actually just gave up caffeine. But before I gave up caffeine, I really enjoyed this feature because it tells you what time after you wake up is optimal to have caffeine to help your productivity, and then it tells you a little, it gives you a little reminder of when to, if you're going to have caffeine, this is the time you want to cut it off. I was always like an afternoon coffee type of gal, so when I got my little reminder, I was like, oh, actually I do want to have it now, because sometimes I would want my coffee and then I would realize it was too late, so then I wouldn't. So it was really nice to get the little reminders because I did want that afternoon coffee, so I did want the reminder. This is obviously something you can turn off if you want to. Here is something I haven't noticed before is the body signal. So it's telling me I had low evening stress on 28 days out of the 30 days, which is really good. So then you can reflect on like what were you doing to help you have low stress evenings, right? Like some of these data points, like I don't really know what to make of them. Like it says my HRV is at something for my baseline. I don't know. But again, like I'm not really into that. I don't really care about those metrics. So if that was something you're more interested in, maybe you would know what they're for. The Oura Ring app gives you a little overview at the top of like your readiness score, sleep score, activity score, everything like that. Also gives you your cycle day that you're at on the top, which is really helpful. And then your stress level. So at the top it says I was generally stressed for 3 hours today. It gives you your activity goal, which is really helpful for me because I'm also tracking my calories and everything, so I like to know where I'm at for the day. Daytime stress, and you can click into all of these and it gives you a little bit more information. So right now it says I'm engaged, which I find interesting because before this I was stressed, and now that I'm filming I'm engaged, so not stressed. And it gives you a little timeline of what you did that day. So I woke up at 8:14 today, worked out, my sleep latency 28 minutes, so that's how long it took me to fall asleep, which I think is kind of long, but I had a sick baby. So you can go into a whole other array of things into the app, your trends, your reports. You can print the reports. I think you can give them to your doctors and stuff. There's a new feature on the Oura Ring app where you can like scan your meals and it can kind of like estimate, I think, like what you're eating and calories and whatnot. I haven't really used that. Your symptom radar is kind of interesting. It gives you if there's like strain in your body. When I was quitting caffeine, it was saying I had major signs like of strain on my body, so I thought that was interesting. The accuracy of the data here, I think that they're both accurate on the heart rate and sleep for sure, and they're pretty much on par. They say the same thing. I will say I don't expect much from a ring for my fitness tracking. I find that the Oura Ring and the Ultrahuman are both off on step count. The Ultrahuman is far more off on the step count. I find it to be the lowest. I find that the lowest steps counted for the day is from my Ultrahuman. And I know this because For a few months I was wearing my Apple Watch on my ankle to really accurately track my steps. With that experiment, I found that my Oura Ring was really off by like 2, 3, 4,000 steps some days. And then my Ultrahuman is always like a couple thousand steps under what my Oura Ring says. So I know that's also inaccurate. But I don't expect my step count to be accurate with either of the rings just because they're on my hands, right? So I'm a mom, so I'm pushing the stroller for a lot of my walks, or like if I'm on the treadmill, I might like be holding my phone on one hand and like swinging my other arm or something like that. It's just like, or I'm pushing like a shopping cart, you know, it's like a mechanical thing with your hands moving that it's going to count your step. I've seen people report like they have an Oura Ring or an Apple Watch and they're like knitting. It counts as that steps because it's like your hands moving. It's just going to be like a mechanical movement, and that's how it's going to track. I don't ever see like how a smart ring would be able to track your steps unless you're moving your arms, right? Like I don't ever see that being fixed because it's just like a mechanical function like of your arms moving. So anyway, I don't expect much from the fitness tracking on both of them. I will say that my baseline calorie burn is more accurate on the Oura Ring. I don't find the Ultrahuman Ring to have my baseline calories burned for the day accurate at all. For today, it says my total calories burned. It says my total calories burned for today was 1,445 calories and that I took 5,836 steps. The total calories burned at 1,450 basically is active and resting. I know that that's not accurate from just like my regular body weight and the activity I've done today. And then my Oura Ring activity says that I have burned total 2,267 calories today, active and resting, and that I've taken 6,343 steps, which I think I've probably taken more than 6,300 steps. The Ultrahuman Ring saying I've only taken, I had to close it out like I was saying. So the app kind of does that where I feel like it loads faster if I just close it out really quick. So yeah, then it said the Ultrahuman Ring said I did 5,800 steps, so it's like also inaccurate. And I do trust the total burn on the Oura Ring a lot more just because it seems to be on par with like I know my amount of calories I would burn if I didn't move at all for my height and weight and age, and then also how many calories I burned like working out and everything. So it would add up closer to 2,200 calories for the day. So I do find that the total burn is more accurate on the Oura Ring, and I do appreciate that information. And there are a few things with the Ultrahuman Ring where I feel like they could improve greatly. They are a newer company, if I'm not mistaken. They've been around for like 2 to 3 years. Or no, they just did their 2-year anniversary. So 2 years in to a company like this, you know they're going to be making improvements and adjusting these things. So I really do enjoy the Ultrahuman Ring and like that there's no subscription. So some of these things I'm just kind of like, I know they're probably going to fix them in the future, and I hope they do. That's why I'm trying to be honest with my feedback so they know what they can work on. Compare it kind of to like, I got the original Dyson Airwrap, if you guys know what that is, but now the Dyson Airwraps that they put out now are like way better, and I'm like, okay, I kind of want those ones, you know? So it's like the first models of things are just always going to have room for improvement. To recap, like data that you get in the app for both, I do find that the sleep is accurate on both. The heart rate is accurate on both. They both detect motion really well. So if I did start a workout and I didn't record it, both of the apps will tell me, hey, we noticed that you were doing an activity that seems like a workout, and it gives you the option to plug in what your workout was. Both have detected naps very accurately, both exactly to the minute. The only major differences is that I think that the Oura Ring tracks my total burn calories better and maybe my steps as slightly more accurately, not fully. The Ultrahuman Ring, I like that they have the caffeine window feature and the other like plugins that you can add if you're looking for something like pregnancy tracking, or if you're in the parent mode, or the other options that you guys saw. Another thing I want to say about the health tracking for both of these is that they both have detected if I go out on a walk as well. So not just a workout, but like if I go out on a stroller walk and I don't track it because I know it's gonna be like 10-15 minutes, they both like pop up and are like, hey, we noticed you did an activity. For battery life and charging, they're both pretty simple for like charging. They just go on the little dock. I find that they both last about a week. I used to track my workouts on my Apple Watch, like I was saying, but since I stopped wearing the Apple Watch, I now track it in the Oura Ring app, and I have found that the Oura Ring has been dying a little sooner than the Ultrahuman Ring, but I think that's because I'm like actively having it record my heart rate for a set amount of time, and if I did that with the Ultrahuman, I'm sure it would drain the battery a little quicker. As far as like the longevity of them, I feel like they both last about like 4 to 6 days, and then I have to charge it. I had just charged my Oura Ring yesterday, and now my Ultrahuman Ring is prompting me to charge it today. Let's talk about the connectivity. They both do allow integrations for Apple Health. So you can, like when I tracked my workouts on my Apple Watch, it would automatically sync up into my Ultrahuman Ring app because my Apple Watch would report my workout to Apple Health on my cell phone, and then it automatically updates it to my Ultrahuman Ring. And then now that I track them on my Oura Ring app, the Oura Ring app reports the workout to Apple Health on my phone, and that syncs up with Ultrahuman Ring, which is really nice. And then I also like my weight scale automatically syncs to Apple Health, so that information gets uploaded to both apps. My workouts get automatically reported up to my Fitness Pal because they're all integrated with Apple Health, and then Apple Health reports it to my Fitness Pal, which is really helpful and easy and makes everything like really seamless if you're into like tracking all those things like I am. I did have a pretty big issue with my Ultrahuman Ring. This is actually my second Ultrahuman Ring. I had to have a second one sent to me. So the first one, I don't know, like now looking back, I could tell that something was just off with the first one they sent me. It just like the battery was draining like every other day, and I just found that to be like really concerning. And I was like, okay, well maybe it's like getting used to my body, like calibrating to my body. You know, the battery life is going to get better after that. But no, it kept dying like every other day. So that was the first issue. And then I had a really bad eczema outbreak on my hand. It's actually like healing a bit now, but it was like impossible to wear my ring on this finger. When I decided on the sizing for this, I was in between two sizes, and I will say I haven't talked about the sizing kit, so I will mention that really quickly. My sister-in-law actually has the sizing ring for Oura Rings, so I tried on my size, and when I got the Oura Ring, I felt like it was pretty accurate to the sizing kit ring. Maybe the sizing kit ring felt just like Oura Ring felt just like a slightly bit tighter than the sizing kit, but it was not anything major. And you do want to have like not a tight fit, but you want to not have a loose fit because you want the sensors to be touching your skin at all times with either of the ring. So with the Ultrahuman Ring sizing kit, I did notice that my sizing kit ring fit me really well, and then when I got the actual Ultrahuman Ring, I felt like the Ultrahuman Ring was like not much bigger, but it was looser. Like I almost was like, should I have sized down so that it was a little bit snugger than this, because it was quite a bit different than the sizing kit ring. So I feel like maybe some people would have some issues with that. So just really like take your time. I know when you're getting a ring and you get your sizing kit, you're just like, I just want to pick a size because you want to put your order in and get your ring in. But really I would take a few days, like 4 or 5 days, and really wear a size or two and really think about like what size is fitting you the best, because you can't change the ring, right? And your fingers like swell throughout the day, they swell at night, you know, there's so many factors. So you want to make sure it's not going to get too tight at times, but you know, just like a good fit. So just take your time with the sizing, I would say. But those were the discrepancies I found with both of the rings. The Oura Ring was slightly tighter than my sizing kit size ring, and then the Ultrahuman was slightly larger than my Ultrahuman sizing kit ring. And again, going back to the connectivity issue, so I got that eczema outbreak and I had to take the ring off for a little bit because it doesn't fit on any of my other fingers. And that's why I mentioned that, because I tried to make sure that the ring would fit on my index finger and my middle finger, and the sizing kit ring did fit on both fingers, but the Ultrahuman Ring that I got, even though it's the size that I ordered from the sizing kit, I got the same size as the sizing kit ring size that I was trying. I got size 10. Sorry guys. I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say, is that the sizing kit ring fit both fingers, but the actual ring only fits my index finger, and it's too big on my middle finger. So the sizing kit ring fit me well on both, you know. And so I'm saying it came back and it was slightly larger. I was like, oh, okay, it doesn't really fit. I do wear it sometimes on my middle finger, but it is like, I could tell it would slip off really easy. So I really can only wear it on my index finger. So anyway, I got the eczema outbreak and I took the ring off for a few days, like a couple weeks it had to be, because like eczema takes so long to heal. When I tried to put the ring back on, it was not connecting to my app. It was like, it wasn't even registering as like a ring. Like it was, I tried to do all the resetting, and I will say that their customer service was really fast. You'd send them your serial number and everything, and like it was really fast. They were trying to help me troubleshoot this. But it just came to be that that ring was like malfunctioning. It is no secret, if you look online, you're gonna find that a lot of Ultrahuman Ring users have had the same issue where their ring works for a little while and then it just won't connect after like a month or so. So that is something to keep in mind. And then the other people online that review their Ultrahuman Ring will say that like they love it, they have had zero issues. I mean, they were super fast to send me the new one. Almost everyone that I've seen online has had that experience. If their ring stopped working, Ultrahuman was really quick to resolve that issue for them and send them a replacement. For the price difference, the Oura Ring, to get the gold color like I have, it is $4.99, and then plus your $6 monthly subscription fee. And for the Ultrahuman Ring, you can pick any color you want, so there's no upcharge for a different color, which I think is a huge plus, and that's going to cost you $349, and there's no monthly subscription fee. So my final thoughts on the Oura Ring versus the Ultrahuman Ring, I think that they're both great rings. This is like just very much up my alley, like tracking my sleep, my fitness, my steps, and having all this data available to me on my cell phone is just like right up my alley. So I really do love both rings, and I love different things about them. I really think it's going to come down to what you're wanting the ring for. Like I was saying, I want this ring primarily for my cycle tracking, and I'm willing to pay the extra money for the Oura Ring monthly subscription fee and for the natural cycle subscription fee, which is I think $9.99. So total I'm paying about $16 a month to be able to use the data from my Oura Ring. But since Natural Cycles, and this has nothing to do with either ring, but Natural Cycles itself as a company is FDA cleared birth control, so I'm willing to pay the fees for that. So if you are in the same boat, I feel like if you are not super versed into your cycle and you don't feel confident reading your results from the Ultrahuman Ring, because the Ultrahuman Ring will tell you when you're ovulating as well, it just doesn't present it like Natural Cycles does, which is has nothing to do with Oura Ring, because the Oura Ring and the Ultrahuman Ring present your temperature tracking for your ovulation basically the same way. It's Natural Cycles that takes that information and gives it to you in a like really clear-cut way and tells you know that Natural Cycles is where you're getting the FDA cleared birth control. And I know that is a big drive for especially women. That is one of the main reasons we want to get a ring, is because we want that ovulation tracking, that birth control capability. For me personally, like I was saying, for me, I think that I like the ease of having Natural Cycles sync with my Oura Ring. If Natural Cycles would ever sync up with my Ultrahuman Ring, that would be great, because then I don't have to pay that Oura Ring monthly subscription. If you're wanting a tracking ring for your sleep, your heart rate, any of that data, I think the Ultrahuman Ring is a better option, because they both track my sleep identically. If you want a gold color or like one of the premium colors, you don't have to pay like hundreds of dollars extra, and then you don't have that monthly subscription fee. Like if you're looking for a ring for sleep, Ultrahuman's definitely the way to go. So it's just really going to depend on what you're looking for. I love wearing both rings, honestly. And I'm going to continue to wear both rings, because I'm curious to see like what my Ultrahuman Ring says in the 3 months from now for my full cycle analysis with it, and just to see like how it holds up with the Oura Ring. If you're okay with it, I would go with a different color than gold with the Ultrahuman Ring, because it seems to scratch pretty easily, like the hard scratches I was showing you guys. Like I've been pretty rough on my Oura Ring, and I don't have any major scratching like that. Maybe I do a little bit, but not anything super major. This is the Oura Ring. Okay, so I was just looking up my email to give you guys my discount code that I do have available for Ultrahuman Ring, and it does say that the Ultrahuman team is actively looking into some sort of integration like Natural Cycles or potentially maybe Natural Cycles. They're not confirming anything, so I just want to keep that out there because I feel like this is the best birth control ever, because it's like you don't think about it. You don't have to take your temperature yourself every day. It takes it for you. And then, you know, it's FDA cleared birth control, and you don't have to take like synthetic hormones. Like, it's just like a win-win-win in my book. So I would love to see Ultrahuman integrate with Natural Cycles or a similar FDA cleared application. That would be so awesome. So anyways, those are my honest thoughts on both of the rings, comparing them side by side. So I will have my affiliate link for Ultrahuman in the description. I do have a discount code. It is Jasmine Klein 10. You can use that for 10% off of your order. I hope this video was helpful for you. I tried to keep it as structured as possible because there's so many little things that I want to say about everything. Let me know if you have any questions on either ring, and tell me, what do you think? Why you would want a smart ring? Would it be for sleep, fitness tracking, or cycle tracking? And which one you think is best for your needs? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in my next video.